Hello everyone, my name is Nick Infernus and welcome back to another comic book review. So last time we looked at Venom, and I don't know if I'll be covering Venom Let There Be Carnage anytime soon, so let's just skip to the most recent movie in the SSU, Morbius. The movie that spawned numerous memes about a line that was supposedly in the movie that, as it turns out, was not in the movie. How did this happen? Well, I'd say I don't know, but that would be false because the answer's obvious. It's the internet and anything can happen. But we're not here to talk about the memes. We're here to talk about the movie that spawned the memes. And how is the movie that spawned the memes? Well, let's just say that if the only thing worth remembering about your movie is the memes it spawns, that's not a good sign. Honestly, yeah, that is the only thing worth remembering about this movie because it does almost everything wrong. Now, keep in mind, I said almost, and this is one of those movies where I enjoyed the parts way more than the whole. Because there are some good parts here. For example, the setup is actually really good. I've always enjoyed the concept of these people with human abilities experimenting on themselves for a good cause, but turning themselves into a monster. That's always something that I found very interesting, and it can make for a good story. Like here, Dr. Michael Morbius experiments on pets to create a cure for a blood disease that him and a childhood friend of his have. And through those experiments, he turns himself into the living vampire, the titular living vampire. That's what I meant to say. It's a good setup, and I just wish they had used it more to, well, explore its potential more. And even the way that Morbius's powers are visualized, all the foggy distortions that does, it's very interesting to look at. But unfortunately, that's where the notable good parts end. Now, this movie, at least to me, had a similar issue to Eternals, where because of the movie's short runtime, in this case being an hour and a half, it doesn't have enough time to develop its characters or really develop any of its ideas. However, unlike Eternals, this only had one task. That task was to make the characters interesting and likable, to move the story along in an interesting way that's also enjoyable. They do not do that. There is only an hour and a half to do this, and this obviously had the script of a 2-hour movie. Like, I'm just saying. This obviously could have and should have been a 2-hour movie like Venom, but for some reason, they either cut out interesting things or they just squish the movie down. So now it's rushing from bit to bit without doing anything remotely interesting outside of playing around with the living vampire powers. And because of that, our three characters, Michael, Martine, and Milo, some are more interesting than others, but at the end of the day, there's not much worth remembering about them. And the acting really, really doesn't help. Like, Jared Leto as Michael Morbius is fine. Martine shows little personality, and Milo, he's also okay at first, but when he turns evil, man, he gets cringely over the top. I don't even know if cringely is even a word. I don't even care. It's over the top to the point where it's not necessarily reaching. God damn it, what was his name from Wonder Woman? Whatever. The villain from Wonder Woman 1984. Jeez, you know that movie sucks when you don't even remember the name of the villain. Maxwell Lord, of course. Yeah, it's not stupid up to the point of third act Maxwell Lord, but it is pretty cringy to watch at times. And especially when he tries to be menacing, yeah, that was not the right actor for that kind of role, guys. Maybe try someone who has more of an intimidating air. I can't really name any actors off the top of my head, but the guy you cast, whose name I can't remember, not a great pick. And in general, it was kind of just boring. There's not a lot for me to say about it. It's just kind of there. It's a thing that exists. Is it an enjoyable thing? Not really. Hell, even though I just said it's boring, I can't really say that. It's just there's not a lot of substance to take in. At least with Venom, I can appreciate the relationship between Eddie and his friends. Here, I like the visuals. The setup is nice. I don't really care for anything else. That's really the only thing I can say about this. I don't really care. And it's getting a 1.5 because of that. Because I enjoy parts of it. I enjoy, you know, it was set up nicely and it looks cool, but when your movie is too short and the actors aren't really trying, that can lead to a lot of problems. But anyways, guys, that was my review of Morbius. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. I'm not going to bore you with all that generic stuff. See you next time. Godspeed.